Oh, this is pretty cool. Hey, what's up, Street Gods? This is Eric from the Eric Street Photography blog. So, I wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of some basic principles behind the modern photographer. So, one of the great things about this book is it's going to be your new visual primer and your new personal guide on how to find more personal meaning in photography. So, one of the first questions you got to ask yourself is, what are your personal goals in photography? And what does photography mean to you if you didn't have to measure your success with money, with social media followers, with likes? What would you consider your personal growth, your success, and your artistic experimentation and sense of fun? And one of the big questions I want you to ask yourselves as a modern photographer is, why do I make pictures? Who do I make pictures for? Do I just make pictures for myself? Do I make it for others? And what happens to you when you don't make pictures? Do you get sad, depressed, and antsy? And what are you trying to say with your pictures? Are you trying to show the beauty? Are you trying to show joy? Are you trying to show optimism? Or are you trying to show the darkness and more the pessimism of life? And what are your purposes of making pictures in terms of a social context? Are you trying to inspire people, encourage people, and uplift the souls of people looking at your pictures? Are you trying to make social statements? Are you trying to make social critiques? Ultimately, there's no right or wrong why you make pictures, but it's just a question you gotta kind of ask yourself. And as a photographer, just realize that you're a maker. One thing that I learned is the word poet originally just meant maker, and the original artists were essentially poets. So as an artist, essentially you're just a maker. So don't think of your photos as just photos. Think of them as pictures. Think of them as visual art. One great thing I like to consider is that you're not just a photographer, but you're a visual artist. And one of the biggest benefits of being a visual artist is that you're able to give yourself much more free play in terms of how to express yourselves creatively. So, for example, one thing that I personally have been loving to do is this concept of cross-pollination, where you're drawing inspiration from all different forms of art. So, for example, I've been watching a lot of films by Akira Kurosawa, and this is actually one of my favorite stills from the movie. I love just the diagonal composition, the boy lying in the the bed of flowers. And you could see essentially how I sketched this with the Procreate app to create this diagonal composition to better deconstruct it. And another example of some compositions I deconstructed in Seven Samurai. And so don't just limit yourself as a photographer, think of yourself as a visual artist, and always ask yourself why you're trying to make pictures. So for me, the reason I'm trying to make pictures is I'm trying to show beauty, joy, happiness. I'm trying to add drama. And ultimately, my aspiration as a photographer and visual artist is to inspire other people to make art and for other people to better appreciate their lives. So, once again, guys, the question you got to ask yourself is, as a modern photographer, why do you make pictures? Who do you make pictures for? How can you be like a little bumblebee and cross-pollinate? How can you tap into your inner psyche? How can you combine your passion, money, and personal significance in your photography? And essentially, do you know who you are as a photographer? So these are some questions I want to ask you guys to ask yourselves. So to learn more about how you could be a modern photographer, go on the Googles, search Eric Kim blog, go to the blog, and go to menu, go to shop, and pick up a copy of Modern Photographer. It's full of all this inspiration and dopeness, which could help elevate you in your photography, to take your photography to the next level, to essentially for us to all create a new culture in photography. And for those of you guys who are watching, if you guys are curious how I made this video, I'm using the Camtasia app, and I'm actually connected it with the Lightning port with the iPad. So once again, this is another way you guys could thrive as modern photographers. Make your own YouTube channel, make your own screen caps, and do dope stuff. All right, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Be strong, be brave, peace out.